Hi, Sohanika.
Hi, Saurabh.
Glad you could
Um,
make it. How early is it?
it's 8:30, so it's fine.
Still appreciated.
Yeah. It is. I mean, I agreed to attending, so it's looking forward to it.
All the random questions will be bombarded at your end only.
Okay,
So be prepared.
sure.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll try to make sure that everyone is shared the equal amount of random questions because we are also not
Hmm.
we can be prepared for the scripted thing, but I'm not sure about the random questions that student ask. Right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I
And
can understand because even when I was before coming here, I've also asked all sorts of random questions to people that I
yeah,
know.
it makes sense.
So it's
Makes sense.
fine. Yeah, it's fine.
And do you have friends and associates or peers joining these as well?
I have
Did you ask them?
shared Um, I've shared the link and everything, so I'm hoping someone would join, but not someone from like Canada, but maybe like India mostly. But let's see.
Works, works.
Hi, Sohanika. We just decided.
Hi. Hi,
Yeah.
Vijay. I guess I've been talking to you for like last year.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
From the last
then
year.
hi. Yes.
Hello
So
So how's
everyone.
nice to
everything?
meet you.
Yeah, same
Pretty
here.
good.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Pretty
Uh,
good.
I
Yes.
hope you like the accommodation and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been living here in the same accommodation for the past 7 months. It's
Mm-hmm.
going great. The
Okay.
neighborhood is pretty amazing.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
everything
Yeah.
worked out in my favor. So
That's good. That's
thanks
good.
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. And yeah, like I said, most of the questions we're gonna be towards you. Like you are
Okay.
right now living the life that most of the students are aspiring.
It's okay.
Yeah, because
Mm,
you're the only one who has the hands-on experience of being right now in Canada amongst whatever is happening right now. So
okay. Yeah.
be prepared.
So so whatever is happening in terms of the changes
The changes in the capping
in
policies
the
and everything.
past.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
okay.
that's that's
Don't stress
true.
about it.
No, no, no worries. I know. The changes are stressful, but I feel like it's also necessary. I mean, from
Mm.
where
Mm.
I like am standing from, it is. Um, yeah.
All right, cool.
Hi all.
Hi.
Hi.
Arpita,
Hi Arpita.
Arpita, you are on mute, I believe.
Sorry. Yeah, I was saying that all set for the webinar. Everybody is quite aware of the capping policies, I guess. A little bit, a general
Mm.
overview,
Mm.
because every question will be, somehow linked to that, because it is about the entire journey of the student. But with the capping policies in. So this is one thing which is bothering everyone. A lot of questions are mounting up, and everybody wants answers. So we are trying to solve their problem a bit through the webinar.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
So we will be starting in a while. Let the queries come in. So we will start. So I would request the attendees to please put up their questions in the comment section below, so that we can attend to them on time. So please request every attendee to put up the questions. And also, I would thank the panelists to find out time, especially our real student from Canada, Suhanika. So thanks to you that it's quite I know it's what's the time there right now? It's 8:30, I guess.
Yeah, it's 8:30 in
Yeah,
the
it's
morning.
very I mean quite early in the morning that you are there, and
Yeah.
so a special thanks to you for that, for finding out time, getting up
Yeah.
from your sleep, hampering your sleep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
joining the
Yeah.
webinar.
And a
Yeah.
bit
So
of thanks to me as
Yeah.
well, Arpita, to nudge
oh
Suhanika
yes,
to
yes,
Yeah.
to
yes,
attend to attend this thing right
yes,
now.
yes.
But
Yeah.
Nevertheless,
no, I mean,
nevertheless,
yes, but
um,
kudos to her. I mean, she agreed to this thing. I mean, it was
yes.
quite a short notice that she agreed to this thing,
Thank you
and
so much,
yeah,
Suhanika.
You're most welcome.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
yeah.
But
Okay, so okay, yeah. We are still looking for more queries, so we have to stay tuned until some more queries come in. So then we can start.
Arpita, my internet is working up. It might not be stable, so please do not mind, and let's just make sure that
Okay.
if I'm not heard throughout something, let's please make sure that
Okay,
Mm.
tell
fine.
me, make me aware wherever you lost me.
So all
So
others
I'll
are fine with their
Yep.
internet connections and everything.
Work. It's good.
Yes,
It's good
everything
working.
is fine.
Everything is fine. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
So Vijay, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for arranging this.
Yeah, you were quite excited for the webinar, you told me
Oh yes.
the other day.
Ex-
Yeah.
Exactly. The main reason I joined university living when I heard about like
Yes.
I would be able to help the students as I've been through the situations that the students are facing right
Mm-hmm.
now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to share my experience with them and help them in any which way I can. So
Yeah.
it was exciting, and the webinar being part of that, I can share my experiences live with
Yeah.
the audience. So that was a
Basically,
good opportunity.
your questions will be on the accommodation front, like how
Hmm.
things have changed, everything on that actually.
Yeah.
So basically, it will be based on those, but you can also give us a general overview also if you have
Hmm.
anything to share with us. So you can do
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
So yes, exactly. Accommodation is being the most challenging part of a
Hmm.
student's journey for being a
Yes. Yes.
international
Yes.
student. Like getting
Mm-hmm.
admission, getting visa, those are secondary that can be passed easily. But accommodation is getting at a point where students are not even able to find economical options right now, right?
Okay.
So that's why a lot of
Mm-hmm.
focus for today and for most of the students is on accommodation, and even government has realized it, and the prime minister of Canada even spoke about this last week, right? Openly held a press conference, and they addressed this situation that uh, people are facing rent issues. Rents are being increased very
Mm-hmm.
rapidly. Accommodation crisis. Not many new accommodations are being put up at the rate in which the international community is coming into the Canada. So that's why this whole cap thing has been introduced. They are taking some measures about it, and they will take more measures. Like in the previous week, they announced 1.5 billion dollars of relief funds for these specific accommodation problems.
Okay.
They'll
Fine.
be working towards helping tenants who are facing harassment from landlords. Maybe they are being evicted without prior knowledge, so they can help those people with legal system, and that's why they have kept a 1.5 billion dollars of uh, uh, situation right now for this. So it will help a lot. Like government is taking initiatives.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we can think something that some major changes or benchmark can happen on this, right?
Yeah. So yeah, next 2 to 3 years are gonna be very important. It
Mm-hmm.
will shape the whole idea of going to Canada for either the studies or living a life there, being going on a PR, right,
Yeah.
on a work permit. So it's
Okay.
gonna change that.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of things gonna happen in the next 2 to 3 years. Even the elections are next elections in Canada will be this will be a major point of talk in those elections. How you gonna address this? So there's a lot of focus on this right now.
Okay. You might have to, repeat all these things again
No problem,
in
no
the
problem,
question. So
no problem.
I think you should save your energy, I guess, for that.
Yeah.
So uh, okay, we are still looking for the queries,
Mm-hmm.
and Saurabh is helping us a lot in giving the answers. Thank you, Saurabh.
Yeah.
I can try wherever I can fit in. So just doing my part.
You have been a great
And
support, Saurabh. Thank you.
I I believe everyone on the panel is much more like, I mean, even Vijay and Ravina and Sonika, they have their own uh,
Yes, yes.
expertise in their respective field. So
Mm-hmm.
we all
Mm-hmm.
can try to, just uh, not guide, maybe just give the students who might be in a state of fear, or in a state of
In a state of uncertainty as well.
uncertainty, exactly,
Yeah,
that
Mm-hmm.
what is
Yeah.
going to happen, and
like whether
as
they
Vijay
should.
mentioned, yeah,
I
exactly,
know, I know.
as Vijay mentioned, it's going to be two crucial years, 2 or 3 crucial years, and um, so yeah, let's see how much we
Mm-hmm.
can help
Yeah.
everyone out.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. We have our expert panel, so no worries, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because we will try to attend each and every query that is coming to us and give a
Okay.
valid answer so that they
Mm-hmm.
can just, not just an answer, something
Mm-hmm.
which they can apply that and
Mm-hmm.
they will get help. So
Yeah.
we are our honest aim is to do that. So let's see how much we can achieve. So
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's going to help a lot of students.
mm,
And like I was saying before as well, so there's a famous saying, things get worse before they start to get better, right? So this shortage of accommodation is, there are various studies going on. So there is an estimate that this will quadruple in the next 2 years, like till 2026. This is going to be 4 times what shortage we are facing right now in 2026 for
okay.
accommodations. And then
Mm-hmm.
from after 2026, these measures will come into effect, which have been implemented now or in the next year. These will come into effect, and this will ease out the accommodation market.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. Just a few more minutes because we want more and more attendees to join so that more and more help can be given to them. So just a few more minutes and then we will be starting.
Yeah, interesting questions being asked in the chat exactly.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, we will get into those.
Hmm.
Uh, this is given to our student in Canada,
Hmm.
Suhanika. She has been asked a question.
Hi. So I was just uh, thinking when should I start
Yeah. No,
answering?
no, you just
But
don't start now
okay, sure.
until I introduce myself and each one
Yes.
of you. Then I
Just
can,
waiting for that. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, panelists, please stay tuned. I know it's a little bit of wait, but we have to.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask a question to Ravina in the time being. I think there is a question which, I just really want to ask. Just a minute. Yeah, Ravina, can you just tell me one thing, which I really want to know, that does this capping policy has anything to do with the flight tickets and I mean, how less or more are the flight tickets booking with you? Anything? Can you just?
Hi, Arpita. So in this question, I'll just answer in a short terms. Right now, na, more of the student is not aware about this cap policy. Some student they are very good to know that what is cap policy, what changes is there, and some is not. So the student who is not aware about this, na, so like they're going to impact these things to that student. Suppose I'm just giving you the example for the flight tickets. The student who is aware about the cap policies, they know the rules and regulation where this things is gonna change, so they are booking their all this, they are like planning their journey accordingly. Other student who is not aware about that, they are waiting for the last moment when they get their visa ticket, visa confirmation, and they're waiting
Mhm.
for that moment, and the flight ticket which that can get this time somewhere around 12 50,000 or 60,000, and when they are waiting for the last moment, the same flight gonna cost them somewhere around 1 lakh or 1 lakh 50,000. So there's a huge impact,
On
because
that.
most
Hmm.
issue is that the student is not aware about the exact things what's change in Canada. So it's just it's impacting on the flight tickets as well as.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So let's start with the webinar now.
Mhm.
So welcome to the community hours on Canada. I will be your friend and host, Arpita Moitra here, who will be uh, guiding you throughout the webinar. So um, we will be starting now. Okay, so one thing which I want to mention first here is that on January 22nd, 2024, the Canadian cap was announced, right? So it led to many uncertainties, it led to many apprehensions, like whether one should come to Canada for their studies, or they should, wait for another two years to join. So these things are coming up, and one good thing is that this community R will act as a benchmark for them to answer a lot of queries that are mounting up, which is, bothering them, and they can get help from that. And for that, of course, we have an expert bench with us who will be all the more happy to help them, right? So let me introduce to our panelist now. We have with us Saurabh Sharma, who is our study abroad expert here. Hi, Saurabh. Um,
Hi, Arpita, how are
as
you?
a, as you usual, you are a great support to us, and you will be helping us. And I look
Thanks for the
forward that you will
thanks
answer.
thanks for the
You will
kind
try to
words as
help.
always.
You will try to help them.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
As
Okay.
much as I can and as much as I know, I surely will. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Next panelist that we have with us is also an expert with us, Ravina Kandial. Hi, Ravina. So,
Hi, Arpita.
how are you? Good.
I'm good.
So, how well you will be able to help? Just give me
I'll try
an
my
idea.
best because I'll try my best to provide best to best solutions and best to best ideas and resolve their queries. What best I can do, I'll definitely do.
Thank you so much. We just want that. Uh, okay. Next, we have, of course, we are glad to have you, Suhanika Sinsinwar with us. Hi. How are
Hi,
you, Suhanika?
Arpita. I'm
Thank you
good. How
so
are
much
you?
for joining. I know the time is a little odd for you, but still you joined. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much
Um,
for having me.
yeah. So, how do you think you're going to help? In which way?
Um, so I've been living here, like in Canada, for the past 7 months, and
Mhm.
I am a student, so I believe I can help other students who are aspiring to come here and guide them in any way possible.
Thank
Just
you. But you
yeah,
came not just when the capping policy was there, right? You came earlier than that because you just
yes,
said you came 7 months back. So yeah.
yes. I came to Canada in September 2023.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So yeah, I will be asking you this question only, that how it is, making an impact on your life now. So I will be
Um,
not
mhm,
now. I'll give you time to
sure.
answer that. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining in. And yes, last but not the least, Vijay Kumar with us. He will be addressing all the accommodation questions that are there. So hi Vijay.
Hi
And the
everyone.
first query that is in my mind, and I'm just, I just want to answer, want you to answer, is the difference. Of course, you have been to Canada like four
Hmm.
years back, and
Yeah.
like not 4 years. You gave me that year. I forgot.
So yes,
2016, right? You went
yes,
around that time.
yes,
Okay. So at that time, of course, the capping policy was not there. It was just
yeah,
fine in Canada. Everyone was willing to go. But what led to this capping policy was a crisis on the rooms that were there in Canada, due to 1 million study permits that were there, that were issued earlier the year, right? Because
yes,
of that, the capping policy was there.
yes.
So, how has it solved the problem? Has it solved the problem? Housing
So,
crisis.
yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, and
Yeah.
thank you everyone who has joined us.
Yes.
Yes, I've been to Canada. I went there in 2016 till I was there till 2020 when the COVID started, and things have changed a lot actually since then. And
Mm-hmm.
the main reason for this capping thing is like Canada was giving out permits, study permits, work permits and PRs to lots of people who wants to come to Canada because Canada's main earning point is getting immigration, right? So yes, they did that, and they've been giving like 550 immigration people to come in India. Then they increase
Mm-hmm.
it to 1.2 million, then increase to 2 million. So it's been going on at a very fast pace. And what happened is accommodations were not being built at that pace, so there became a shortage of accommodation in Canada, and rents have gone really high since then. So government took a address to this, and that's how they introduced the capping. Like we have to cap
Mm-hmm.
how many people we are letting enter in Canada. So this way they can put some not exactly a good solution right now, but some extent they can hold this off and slow down the process of this market, this bubble, what's been blowing up for housing crisis in Canada. So it should help in a long run. And government of Canada is trying more and more measures. They are implementing more policies. So it should work in the long run. Like they have capped students who will come to Canada, and they are making this situation where more and more accommodations can be built at a faster rate. So
Okay.
more people have access to accommodation, and they can get it in economical prices that is uh, not too high to pay the rent. Like in Toronto right now, if you want to get a one bedroom apartment, it will cost you 2,500 plus in Canada, right? So
Okay.
that's not affordable to everyone, right? Not everyone can afford that much of rent, and that's why government had to take an initiative in this. They had to work on it. Lots of criticism been going on in all over the
Mm-hmm.
world, and Canada being one of the hottest market for students. Most of the students do prefer going to Canada over other countries like Australia or UK. So that's why they had to introduce this, and
Okay.
it should
But
work.
don't you? But what I think is that, don't you think that the demand is less now because students are coming less? because
No,
of
demand
capping?
is still very high.
Very
Like,
high. Okay.
yeah, very high. Things, the example, I'll give you an example. Like when
Hmm.
I went in 2016 and I rented a three-bedroom apartment in Vancouver, nearby Vancouver, and it was costing me $1,500 for a three-bedroom apartment in 2018. And
Okay.
now, if you see the rents, they are costing more than four times that amount now. So that's how things have drastically changed. And demand is still very high. Students wants to come to Canada for higher studies, for working here, to have a life here in Canada, right? With PR and everything, because getting PR is a good route for students. They can get admission in a course and complete that, and then get a work permit and work on it and make the points. Once they qualify, they can get the PR. So it's a very easy route and simple route for people to get PR in Canada. So that's why
Okay.
demand is not going to get slow. It will keep on
Hmm.
increasing. Government has to make some more measures to complete that demand, or make
Okay.
more accommodations, right?
Okay. Okay.
Uh, Arpita, if I may add to Vijay's
Sure. Sure.
whole,
Yeah.
Vijay, I think somewhere this it's a very the measure that they have taken. It looks like they've taken it at the 11th hour itself. It
Mm,
just came across as on a very short notice, and
mm,
see, I mean, at times you have to take strict measures, but I somewhere feel that it might lead to uh, more properties, more accommodations to be built around student universities. It's a chance that leads to not just capping the students or limiting the students to come into Canada, but there's a I mean, if you look at the other end of the tunnel, it looks like that there's light, and the light is that there are chances that more accommodations can be built, because this whole the whole policy, the capping policy, was introduced to somewhere you know uh,
Around
shortage of
the housing
shortage
crisis.
of
Yes.
housing, or maybe the healthcare that they were not able to
Yeah.
provide. So I think it's a measure taken in a very strict manner, in a very
mm,
short notice. But yeah,
mm,
it might work in a beneficiary to students who are going to come to Canada, maybe let's
mm,
say 2 3 years down the line.
yeah.
So yeah, good point. Yeah, I totally agree with it.
Okay. Thank you, Saurabh. That was a good adding point to the answer that Vijay gave.
Mm,
So thank you both of you. Okay. Next question that I want to point out to is Suhanika. I will give you want you to answer one question. Like when you came from India to Canada, so now when you are in Canada, so are you facing any kind of cultural shock or cost of living problems um, after the capping or something like this? Like, are you?
Mm,
I want an answer
yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Uh, so in I'll answer your question like in
Like
parts.
it's in two parts actually. One
Yeah,
is
so
the
first is
cultural shock, right?
culture
Yes.
shock, and
Yeah.
the second one is living expenses and everything. So, to answer your question, first of all, when you say culture shock, um, I did not experience anything of that. Rather, like I'm originally from Jaipur, right? So I've been to other states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and why I say this is because when you move to a different city, state, or a country, what is culture shock? Like you don't know, uh, their language or the food is tough and stuff like that. Cultural shock is not a thing in Canada. Like here, people, it's not just us coming from India. Like it's a very diverse
Mm.
country, right? And I got to experience that after coming here. So, um, I would just like to also address the fact that there is a lot of content around the culture and the people living here in Canada, and there are a lot of Indian influencers who make a lot of content. So to all the students out there, I would recommend not to completely get influenced from that because there's a lot to Canada, um, and social media can never do justice in just, covering that. So it's very diverse. The only thing that I struggled with initially was homesickness, and homesickness is real, right? Like, it was only when I came here, I was like, oh my God, I'm 1,000 kilometers far
Away from
from
my
home.
home.
Yeah, so if I miss my parents or my family, I cannot just be like, okay, I'll be there in 4 hours. So nothing can ever prepare you for that. It's just I always knew, like, as a fact that it's not going to be easy, but you only get to experience that once you come here. Um, so did not experience something like that. People are very nice that because the place, like, it's in general very diverse, so people are very open to each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're open to sharing cultural experiences, and people are just nice. Like Canadian people, you might have heard that Canadians are very nice. That's a real thing.
Okay,
True.
Um,
fine.
Secondly, in terms of
Cost
the
of
link
living.
of,
Hmm.
yeah, so the link between in cap on international students and cost of living, nothing has changed. Things are still expensive. Um, as you
Okay.
know, when Vijay mentioned that when he was in Canada, and the how much it did cost him, like I was surprised because I'm paying 11 or 1200 CAD, and I definitely don't have a one BHK apartment. So things are expensive. And I would recommend people to be ready with that, like mentally. Living expenses is also a thing. Um, but I believe you can always balance it out. There has been no impact on, like like cap on international students and living expenses. I don't think so. There's a correlation there. I did not experience that, like, definitely. So, yeah, I guess that's something that answers
Okay.
your.
Okay. I also want to ask you one thing, that are you also doing any part-time jobs to manage your expenses? Like, are you
Mm,
doing any part-time job? How is the
no.
scenario of that, if you have any idea? Like, since the workforce is not that much now because of the students are not coming, because the
Uh,
capping policy is there, so it's not like that.
uh, okay, so first of all,
Yeah.
just want to address,
I
uh,
mean,
uh,
like for the part-time jobs, these two students come, right, for the
yes,
part-time jobs. So the
yes.
workforce comprises of them. So how it
It's not
is like
just them,
any
but
difference?
okay. Yeah, so I'll answer your question one by one. I'm not doing any part-time job because my program is pretty hectic. I
Okay.
have two internships, so like it's a like I was busy. Like I wanted to focus on my academics, right? Because that's why I came here for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because like I'm lucky enough that like my family is, supporting me in every way possible, like with the finances and everything. The GIC, which is the GIC amount, like that has helped me in, like managing my like monthly expenses. You get a certain amount and it's your money, and you get it at a certain date every month, right? So I'm using that to support myself. So when you like, I hope that answers your the first part.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
second,
Mhm.
so the second thing is in terms of part time, you can always explore. There are opportunities, but I would say it's not easy because uh, a lot of people they look for Canadian experience, right? That's a real thing.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Um, so that was a thing that I was, warned about. That, sometimes when you're gonna go and look for a job, they'll often ask for, okay, uh, do you have Canadian experience? Um, but apart from that, it depends from like city to city. Most of the people that I've like know, some of my friends, like almost all of them, like from India, have either worked at Tim Hortons, McDonald's, Zara, or at a gym. So that's where you start, and um, you can always do that. That can be an entry level this thing, but I would recommend that if you can find a field job, right? There are always those options available. You can work at H&M, Zara, Bath and Body Works stores. They do take students. Um, so there is that. And when you said that, is there an impact on, is there
Yeah.
any shortage? Honestly, there is no shortage.
Okay. Okay.
So, I don't know if I'm gonna get some hate for this, but the cap on international students is actually also going to help students who are currently in Canada. We need to understand that it's not just India who, like where people come from. There are people, like when I say diverse, you will not like believe when I say there are people from all over the world. Vietnam, Philippines, Korean, Chinese, Mexican, all over Italy, all over the world. So there are a lot of students, and there's a lot of competition even in these part-time jobs. So the cap somehow is necessary because like students they also end up blaming the system, right? Like you have these pathways to study permit or pathways to work permit. But if they cannot accommodate those people here in Canada, there's no point. There is this thing known as the Canadian dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and that has changed over the like I've just been here for the past 7 months, and there's so many things that have changed for the good, for the bad. But it is what it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Your answer actually solved many, apprehensions. Like many of these two students think that they won't be able to get any part-time jobs or something like that. So that's why I asked you this question. Basically, it was my motive behind asking this question. Thank you so much, Swanika. Okay, next I should, little bit drift from this capping thing. A lot, a lot of, this cap makes everyone quite tensed. So let us come into a little bit of generic thing. For example, Ravina is going to answer me one question. I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What are the good deals that we can find in flight tickets for Canada? Are there anything which is like advantageous for them, for the
Yes, there's
students?
yeah,
Yeah.
very good questions. What advantage student gets? Like most of the time, I always suggest book your flight ticket with your agent, because agent is directly connected with the airlines and they guys are having a very good discounts. So sometimes student is not aware, they visited different websites just like a Make My Trip, Go Ibibo, and there's a lots of website available. So I'll always suggest just visit your agent first because they're already having very discount deals on the flight tickets. Then your second question was ki, what a good time to book your flight tickets, correct? Arpita, am I audible to you? Hello, Arpita, am I audible to you?
Ravina, I can hear you. I'm not sure about others.
Okay, okay. So I guess Arpita's second question was ki, what is a good time to book a flight tickets, correct?
Yes, yes. You
So
can go
if
ahead.
I say about the best time to book your flight tickets, so in Canada, best time to flight tickets, once your visa slot is done, you get a slot confirmation. That is the best time to book your flight tickets, because the more you got delay, flight tickets gonna be more expensive. Because if I just give you the example of current scenario, current flight ticket is going to cost you somewhere around 80,000 to 90,000 for August intake. But same flight if you go on a book in the month of August or July end, so that same flight gonna cost you somewhere around 2 lakhs. So once your visa slot is done, kindly, like, this is the best time to book your flight tickets. That's it. Like, I just always suggest the student you first visit your agent and book best time to book once your visa slot is done. Arpita, are you there?
I think there's a technical issue from Arpita's end. Just stay tuned for a while. Meanwhile, let me just roll out a poll for everyone who's attending this, and let's see if you know in the meantime everything is sorted out from Arpita's end.
Sure.
Just give me a moment. Yeah. Uh, Please take your time to go through this poll, and let's just wait for Arpita to rejoin again, and we can continue then.
Hi, Saurabh. I can see that there was a question uh, for me. I know that I've answered uh, the some parts of it. I guess the question is from Aniket Singh. So if you want, I can answer. Um,
The India to Canada transition,
yep.
or yeah, of course, of course. I mean, who better than you can
Yeah.
actually, in the current
Yeah.
scenario, can answer that? Please go ahead. Yeah,
Yes. So since we're waiting for Arpita, I guess I can just take this time and
sure,
talk
sure, sure.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So to begin with, my journey from India to Canada was a really long one. From applying to, like getting all the
If
paperwork
if
in
I,
place,
sorry
visa.
to interrupt,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. What
Yes.
made you think of Canada only? Out of all the places, what I mean, before the transition
Hmm.
from India to Canada, the first question that comes into someone's mind is
Is
why
what is
Canada? Or
why
yeah,
Canada?
exactly. What?
Okay.
Why did even Canada lure you to come to like why
Uh,
Canada?
that's an important question, I guess. But so for me, like my journey was like I wanted to study abroad. Um, I'm a psychology student, so I applied for courses in UK, US, and Canada. We all know that UK already reached a point of saturation, and the life in UK is very different than Canada. You and like with everything in place, kind of Canada made sense to me because of how things were easy. Like you can always navigate your life here. Um, for me personally, I have a really strong support system. I've built that strong support system here in Canada. So before coming here, I'd like connected with people, and um, is that question for me? I guess.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is that. I believe that's for you only.
Okay. So so if I compare, um, I got I got I got admission in a university in the US. And at the end, like before deciding where to go, the choice was between either US or Canada. So why I chose Canada was because my program was just a year long. Um, and things like Canada feels more safe in comparison to the States because of certain laws. At the same time, you can always navigate your life after your education. If you plan and if you work hard and if you network with people, you can always find a job. That is possible. Um, there is, so that's that pathway after your education kind of did drew me to Canada. At the same time, my family felt, that Canada is the right choice. Now, nobody's ever been to Canada, but you've always heard good things about the country. Um, so yeah, so that was the decision. And honestly, everything like why and what happened, like why I'm saying this is only because of like my experience in the past 7 months. It's definitely an adventure. Like before you're coming here, you don't know anything about any place, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that. And someone has asked me, I guess,
The toughest and the trickiest process while preparing to study in
yes,
Canada. I mean,
Toughest and trickiest process, like mine, it was not tough. I mean, sorry, I mean for me it was not because
you already are studying psychology, so I don't think it's going to be any more trickier or tougher than what you are pursuing right now. So,
well, so in terms of admission, right, that's where you start. Um, I gave my IELTS, I got a good score. Then I applied to different schools. I got in. So currently I'm attending George Brown College and I'm doing my postgrad diploma in it. So I got in. Again, I did the research around which colleges and universities to go for because that makes the whole difference. Um, so I guess I chose the right one. Um, at the same time, the tricky part was just the paperwork around visa. Before coming here, there was no cap or there was not a lot of news around international students. So it was the paperwork around visa and then going for my biometric and waiting for the visa. Like that was it. Like because everything was booked for me. Like um, I did everything on my own. Uh, so I did everything on my own. So I was nervous. Like from the biometric to visa, I got my visa in 9 days. So I guess I was lucky, or everything was in place. Maybe I don't know. But those 9 days were kind of like I was freaking out because I was like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Apart from that, like because I'm in the psychology field, one tough part was I don't know if there's an aspirant here who is like interested in psychology or in the healthcare field. Um, there's a lot of paperwork around your medical. You need to get your vaccines check. Like you have to submit an antibody like report for every single, disease or ailment. So that was like the healthcare part of it. Getting your checks done was very tricky for me. Um, but everything else kind of worked in my favor. So I'm glad. So I would say it's all possible if you plan your journey, right? So yeah, there is that. Apart from, is there anything else that you would want me to talk about? Um,
Pita, I think we have you again, back again. Not audible yet.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah, am I audible? Okay, fine.
Yes, Arpita.
My net is gone, so I had to just switch my laptop. I'm really sorry for that. Yeah. And thanks, Saurabh, again for being my support system. Yeah. Okay, okay, so I will put up a question to Vijay now. Vijay, are there any support services available for students who want to find accommodation for themselves? Are there any support services available in Canada or when they are in the planning phase? Can you just okay? Just when you are going to answer, I will just run a poll for
Mm-hmm.
a few seconds. We have to be a little silent, and then you can answer this question. Okay. So
Okay.
we'll run a poll. Please. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll just run a poll. Yeah. So a poll has run. Please kindly vote, everyone. Thank you. Just a few seconds break, and then you can continue. Okay. We are getting the votes. Yeah. you so much. Here are the results. Thank you. Yes, Vijay, please continue.
Yes. So yeah, as a question, are there any supports? And I will add to the last question answer as well. Uh, Toughest things when you are planning to come to Canada or study in Canada. So the trickiest part is not like there's not the visa process is really uh, simple as explained by the immigration, and certain steps they have to be followed, and if you follow all the steps, bring in all your documents that are required with the preferences that immigration has set out, so your process should be smoother, and it all depends on every person's profile, how much time it's going to take for the visa to come in, right? Like Swanika got it very quickly, so her papers must be in order. She did all the steps on time, so that's that. So right now, the toughest part for Canada, again, I'll come back to the same thing, is getting accommodation. It's been a situation for everyone, right? So that's the trickiest part, to get accommodation. One, like some students try to do this, that will go to Canada and then we'll sort out our accommodation. Then when they reach Canada, they get the shock that it's not easy to find accommodation. Like for an example, if you're in India, you just go to a new city, you will meet few agents, and they'll show you some property and get rented out. But it doesn't happen the same way in Canada. So they should be prepared for this. Sort out your accommodation beforehand before you go to Canada, and there are lots of help, like for an example, university living, we help students get accommodation before they go to Canada. They have reached Canada, and they can do all the process from their own country. They don't have to be there to do the paperwork, do the leave, make any kind of payments, right? And book their accommodation. And one more thing to keep in mind for every student is, now immigration has become tougher for international students. So when you land in Canada, at the airport, there is an immigration check where they check your visa, and also they ask for a proof of accommodation, like where are you going to stay when you come to our country. They don't want you to like come to country and then be a burden on government, because government will be liable for you. Right, you have done all the paper, you have come through a legal channel to Canada, then government is liable for your safe being, so they don't want you to be liable on them. So that's why they ask, where are you going to stay there? You have to bring in some proof. They show them a proof of accommodation. So always sort out your accommodation before booking your flight tickets, before boarding your flight tickets. So yes, we help with them. There are lots of uh, people who are in this to help the students, and yeah, definitely come to us, go to our website, check it out. You will find most of the information on the website. Talk to our experts who will guide you through the whole process, explain everything, and clear all your doubts if you have any questions. There are lots of people who doubt that what will we do when we get there, how will we reach our accommodation, where will we go from the airport, how will we get the keys. So lots of questions, all will be answered. You will clear, all the doubts will be cleared. You can see everything before, and before you do any kind of agreement. So, and one more thing I would like to add, like on social media or other platforms, there are lots of scams going on. So do not fall for any of those scams. Go to a verified property or verified agent, verified agency, right, to get your accommodation or make any kind of payment or agreements for accommodation. So do your due diligence before doing any such things, and that's how we've been doing this, and for more than 8 years, right now, and get every information, verify every property, put our team on ground to verify if the landlord is correct, if they have all the basic necessities for a student, and their accommodations are top notch. There is no scams. There are no sometimes so students when they reach there, they do not get a shock that I booked this and I'm not getting the same room which I was shown. So all those things are rectified or removed from all those things, and you get what you book and you see every thing in advance to book an accommodation. So we will help students get accommodations as per their preferences. There are lots of people who are thinking that okay, we'll get there, then we'll find accommodation. So please try to do it as soon as you can, even if not with us. But I would prefer you get your accommodation sorted before you go anywhere. Okay. Arpita, you're not audible. Arpita, you're not audible.
Now, am
Yeah,
I?
yes, yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Thanks a lot. That was quite insightful, Vijay. Thank you. Uh, to this answer, linking to this answer, I will go to Ravina. Can you just help us with some immigration tips for the students for now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I talk about the immigration process, so in immigration it might be take 1 and 2 hours. So what most of the documents you need to carry first, I always suggest to student to make a checklist. Yeah, this document is done. This document is done. So on the time of immigration, you are not like is this ki, yeah, I don't have this documents. So always make a checklist and carry your all the documents in your handbag. And second thing, what I want to notice here, if suppose you're booking any kind of cab or any after service for like airport to your accommodation, so kindly make sure there will be the 2 hours gap in between your flight landing time or your pickup timing. So that's the two advice I want to give to the student. First, always carry your all documents in your handbag, and if you're booking any kind of services after the immigration, so kindly make sure a 2 hours difference on that time zone.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ravina, for that info. Okay, one more question I want to point out to you is that can you tell me about the major airlines available for Canada to and for
There's a
from?
yeah, Arpita, there's a lots of airlines for the Canada, but I'll give you the best airlines, which is the best, and you don't require the transit things. So first one is Air Canada. Second is like Air India. In that you'll get a good baggages. Then Cathay Pacific is a good option. Then come to the Delta Airlines. So these are the best airlines if you are heading to Canada. So I'll suggest this is the best. There's a lots of other airlines also, but if I talk about the extra baggages, like convenient flight and good airlines reviews, so these are the best flights for the students.
Okay, thank you,
Hi.
Ravina.
Just wanted to add on to what
Yes,
Ravina
sure,
said.
Swani, please.
Hmm.
Um, so she's absolutely right about the immigration process, that you need to have a checklist. You need to be prepared. So I remember that when when it was like when I landed here for the first time, uh, in my flight, majority were just students. So when you arrive, there is a different immigration room that they take you to, and that is for students who are coming here for the first time. And the process is pretty seamless. There are a lot of volunteers to help you if you have any questions. So if you're nervous about anything, it's better to ask rather than just freak out and just, be nervous. It's definitely it's overwhelming journey because you're coming here for the first time and you're doing everything on your own, right? So first they do a basic they ask you questions like in terms of how much money do you have in terms of like cash, because there's a limit to it, like you cannot carry more than $10,000 in cash. So you have to declare what you've got. And it's there's a kiosk, so everything is done like digitally. And then you move to like the immigration where they first give you your study permit and then you move to the agent. um, they ask you exactly, like how Vijay said, that they ask you where you're gonna stay. And yeah, there's just that, and they just let you go. The time can vary. like depending upon how many students there are at a given time. Like my flight, it landed pretty early in the morning. It was like somewhere around 5 a.m. But there were at least 30 to 35 students in my flight. So even the like process was seamless, but it does take time. So I would say it take at least three to 4 hours in your hand, because you don't know how many students there are, right? And then after that, there are a lot of like immigration officers. They always keep an eye on you, check on you. Don't be nervous. Everything's gonna be fine. Um, so yeah, that was just like my experience from it. Apart from like in terms of flights, my first flight was like Air Canada, amazing airlines, everything. But something that I struggled with was the weight, the baggage allowance. So they only give you 23 kgs, um, which is less. So you can always go ahead and buy more and or explore other airlines. But if you decide with Air Canada, that might be just something that you want to look out for, like the baggage allowance. Yes, so there's that.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much. It was quite insightful, Monica. Uh, can you all hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you
Okay.
so
Yes.
much. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we'll run a poll, quick poll again. So kindly wait for a few seconds. Right. Since we were talking about flight tickets and everything, so let's just poll. The votes coming. Nice. Yeah. We are ending the poll now. I'm sharing the results. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Now I would like to address Saurabh over here and would like to ask you one question, one last question, because the time is also there, which is running out, I guess. So, what are the specific sectors which are available for part-time jobs in Canada?
Uh, Thanks, Arpita. Good question, though. I would just add to what Suhanika said. Uh, you cannot limit yourself towards a limited, industry or a specific sector for the part-time jobs. I mean, it's up for grabs, and any kind of student, uh, whether they are an undergraduate student or a postgraduate student, I don't think it's everything is out there. Whether you want to work at a cafe, work at a restaurant, might want to work as a customer service executive, or as she mentioned in Zara or H&M. So I mean, and considering the whole, partially agree with Suhanika's point of view of that the capping was necessary. Yes, of course it's necessary, but I somewhere feel when you are on the better end of it, uh, you always look at the things that it happened for the betterment, because you already have thrived through whatever resources you could ponder upon. So, and now people who are going to visit Canada might beg to differ that the capping been there, and things are resources are limited and everything is there. But yes, I completely agree again with the point that students can go out there and work as a can find part-time jobs throughout the day, works in cafes, restaurants, or any such industries if they want. And I mean, I believe they are working on a 30 hours a week thing now. They're considering the 30 hours week. but it's been capped to a 20 hours a week, and you can't work for more than 20 hours in a week. Uh, uh, Before Corona, before COVID hit us, it was 20 hours a week. And after COVID, after the COVID period, since the economy was going down and everything, so they increased it to 30 and 40 hours a week as well. So, but now they're still retorting back to 20 hours a week, and you can't do that. And of course, Vijay and Sonika, they must be aware of the student permits. It's specifically mentioned in your permit that you're supposed to work these many hours, or supposed to do these many things only, because whenever there's an international student who is going towards to any country, whether it's US or Canada or Australia or UK, they always mention it that these are the rules that you have to follow, and these are the things that you can do. These are the things that we would let you do, and these are the things that we'll be very happy if you continue doing. So abiding by all the rules, I think there are multiple opportunities for the students or for people to grab a part-time job. And so Anika being the newest one to join the student ambassador program uh, for university living. It's a we're giving out opportunities as it's a good part-time thing that won't affect your studies, and it's a good platform to make an easy money. It's not going to affect even those 20 hours a week that the government has imposed. And I think she knows that it did not even take maybe an hour or two to just complete all the things that we expected her to. So yeah, I don't think we can actually restrain ourselves, or just commit ourselves to work in specific industries, whether it's IT or healthcare or something like that. Part-time jobs are everywhere. I before finishing it off, Arpita, I would want to go a bit unorthodox here, and since a lot of students, I have spoken to a lot of people, and they always end up asking these questions that. How do we balance both of the things? How do I balance my studies and
Yes,
work?
yes.
And how
Hmm.
do I get? So
Yeah.
I this is where I really want to go unorthodox, and is to fix your lifestyle rather than going to we should be fixing our lifestyles first. So that is the thing that we actually can you know focus upon, and a lot of things. I don't want to come across as an aged man who has 70 years of experience, but yeah, there are a few things which actually stop us from working the balancing the work and the study things. And I think Suhanika is a good example of what she's doing. She mentioned GIC as well, and a lot of things. So yeah, a lot of things to be considered, and a lot of places to go to, a lot of work profiles to explore. It's all up to you, and just reminding them to there is a part-time opportunity that we are offering as a student ambassador program, and we look forward to like anyone who wants to join it and be a part of the university living team. So I hope I have answered that with all my might, if I could. So
Yes, I
yeah,
just
so
wanted
Anika,
to
I
add
think
to
you
that.
yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry, I know I couldn't mention that earlier that I'm also now working with University Living, and thanks to Saurabh for that opportunity. At the same time, when you talk about the fact that working part-time, like also like balancing it with your education. So I just wanted to let people know that when you move to North America, it's a very independent society. Like it's not like in India. Like even if you come here as a student, you have to do everything on your own. You are going to learn a lot of things, like how to take care of yourself, be independent and in every way possible. And honestly, each and every single student out there is working and all like working part-time and also doing their studies. Either they are like international students or are domestic. Like that's something that even parents here kind of encourage their kids to do. So you will not be the only one balancing it out. life is gonna change when you come here, and it's gonna be way more productive. So be ready for that, and you're gonna learn a lot in any industry, like even if it's part-time working serving someone, uh, or working at customer service, or even working as a security agent. You can do anything and everything, and sorry, there's equal amount of respect in that. Everybody is doing it. It's not like, as Indians we kind of think that, oh my God, why are you working at Zara or H&M? That's such a it's it's work. That is what's important. So for anybody who is nervous about that, don't be. You will find some or the other opportunity, and you will nail it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sohanika. That was very insightful. A lot of students will get good guidance with your answer. So thank you so much. Okay, last but not the least, again, Vijay, you are there. I want to ask you one last question, and very important one, actually. It is about what are the types of rooms available in Canada and the rent, like how it has changed due to the capping. It's a very important question. Everyone wants to know. Please.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will answer your question, and I'll answer your question first. I'll add two points to the part-time thing. Yes, there are lots of opportunities, like Swanika said, and it's a good thing for students. Like market is open. You can apply to any job according to your skill set, right? And but there was a little issue when lots of people were coming in into Canada, so jobs were in shortage and people were in queues to get a part-time job. But government has addressed that as well, and you can work 20 hours a week to as a part-time employee, and in your off time when your classes are off, you can work even full time for the 1 or 2 months that your colleges are on off. So you can do that as well, and but don't go illegal hours. I would say government is very tough for that, very strict about this. Immigration do checks all the time at your workplaces. They check if the student is attending classes, doing full-time course, and working in limited hours. And other thing is, one more thing I want to say, that whatever experience you are gaining, it will help you with your PR, with your permanent residency, if you wish to file for that. So it will count towards that. And always check in what sector, at what position you are going to work, because it works like as in knock level, knock as in these are levels which are counted towards points for the permanent residency, right? So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So please check those knock levels, and they amount to certain points. So see which knock level your position is in, and how you will benefit from that. So you'll get to know all this from working there, and working with the employer. They will give you all these insights. We are there to help you with this. And as for the accommodation, there are majorly three kinds of accommodations for students. One, you can get a student accommodation which are purposely built for students. So everyone around you in your apartment, in your unit, or in the building will be a student from your or nearby college or university. They'll be attending. And then after that, there's private apartments you can go for. These are more preferable for a group of students, like say you are a group of 4, 6, 8 people, and you want to stay together in a unit. So you can go for a private apartment. You can share your rent. You can share the room, right? Two people in one room. So that way the rents can be a bit affordable. And then third option is homestays. It's very popular. Usually students are not knowledgeable about this, but homestays are very popular. Like a Canadian family, they are hosting their house. They have spare bedrooms, and they rent it out to mostly students, international students. And you can stay there as long as you like. There are no leaves. There's a good point for that. You can stay as little as you want or as long as you want. So you get to know the culture of Canada, Canadian families, how they operate, how they work, how they eat, and you can get to learn a lot from them. And yeah, other than this, surely student accommodations are uh, a bit higher in rent. Right now, the renting situation is out of hand from even government and right. So in major cities like Toronto, Vancouver, the rents have gone very high, like tripled in maybe 2 years. For an example, which I gave, like when I was there in 2018, my rent was 1,500 for 3 bedrooms, right? Now you cannot even get a one-bedroom apartment in 1,500. So that much um, rents have changed in the past few years. And as for capping, this should help a bit, like more students available for more students, right? And as a capping, less students coming into Canada, so more opportunities, more options opening up, more accommodations are being built every day. But as a stat, I was just talking about this before we started the seminar. So by 2026, this situation is gonna quadruple the housing crisis. It's gonna get worse before it gets better for everyone. And government is definitely working on this. You can get affordable accommodations as well. Right now, we have some really good options for student accommodation, homestays, private apartments. There are lots of options open for students. So any city you are visiting in Canada, any province you are going to, you can contact us. We'll help you. We'll provide you all the details, all the options which are available. And there are lots of options available. Even now, when there's a huge crisis of accommodation, and just it's a matter of fact that when if you come in early, it's like a first come first served service, right? So if you come in early, you will get better deal, you will get easier rent, affordable rent, and if you wait till last moment of your course, then rent will go up. The cheaper ones will be sold out before you even had the chance to look at them or get a chance to book them. So please do as early as you can, right? So that would be my take on this.
Thank you so much. Uh, Before we end, there is a quick poll again. Kindly vote, please. This is actually for the attendees more, but still everyone can vote. How helpful was it for you as well by the answers of other panelists? Okay, I guess we've got the votes. I think the vote. Okay. So thank you everyone. It was a very insightful webinar or community hour, we can say. So thanks a lot to everyone of you for taking time out, especially to Hanika for giving us. I mean, in an odd hour, you are coming and you are attending this webinar. So thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone,
much, guys.
and we should be
Thank you,
having
Arpita.
more of such sessions in future for
Yes,
insights,
yes, yes.
right?
Looking
Definitely,
forward.
definitely.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
We'll be making sure Suhanika joins us at 7 or 8 in the morning every time we are hosting this webinar.
Yes, and I want to thank Saurabh as well for bringing her in the webinar.
No, I think Vijay takes the credit. He's the
Vijay also,
architect.
yeah.
no, no,
If
no.
Vijay was
Credit
not
is
there,
all yours,
Suhanika
Saurabh.
won't be you know an associate
It,
like association with us. So it's a
it's
cycle
a
that
joint
Vijay
effort.
is
It's a
working
joint
on.
effort.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So let's just pat each other's back in this thing.
Yes.
And yeah, definitely
absolutely.
looking forward to a lot more webinars. And yeah,
Mm,
thank you so much, Arpita. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Ryan.
I would
okay.
love to have you all again. So
Yes.
thanks a
Absolutely.
lot, and thank you, Ravina, for joining in. You also took time out from your busy schedule and you came. So thank
Thanks to
you.
you, Arpita. Thank you so much for
Yes,
this webinar.
and thank you for helping every student who wants to go to Canada. So, in a gist, what you want to share, like everyone can just share a line that how the capping policy would help them, or what will happen? Like, will they hamper them to go to Canada, or can they go? So this is one thing which, like, in a gist, you can just give me an answer, like
I
yes or
would
no.
say
Also,
I would say it's going to get tough for students, like more visa rejections and more
Mhm.
tougher, strict rules for students for this capping.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yes, keep it short, please, because we are running out of time. We have to just end the webinar. Yeah. Anybody else has to say anything? Like how they, I mean, students will be benefiting by going to Canada uh, amid the capping policies?
I think it's going to be more competitive now.
More
It has
competitive.
always been, but it's going to become
Mhm.
more competitive since uh, limited slots, limited possibilities.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, that's my point of view. I'm not very sure of if
This
everyone
is
agrees to it or not, but that's what I think
any
that
point of
if
view
I'm
can
going,
help them actually, to,
yeah.
really clear their uncertainties. So that's why. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
okay. Bye
Thank you so
everyone.
much,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Suhanika. Bye, Ravina.
Bye.